Good morning, team. Good evening. Good evening, team, and also good morning. Thank you for everyone for joining today's session. I think someone from YouTube can confirm me whether you all can able to hear my voice, so that at exactly 6 PM IST we can start today's topic. So Zoom team, there are a lot of questions you have shared in the group. What I can suggest you, after 8, we can discuss offline every queries one by one. So while taking class also, if you have any doubts, you can parallelly message in the Zoom. Okay, it's 6. Okay, it's able to hear. Thank you. Thank you, Madhukar, for confirming, and also Arun. Okay, let's begin today's session. That is Selenium automation. So we already in this. Okay, I have to start the recording, right? Okay, recording is also started. So initially, we started with the Java module, like important fundamentals, which are more than enough to complete at least like 70 to 80% of Selenium automation. Our primary goal is for this roadmap 1 training is we have to automate the web application as early as possible, and also have to get more time to work on it. So what I have decided is, that's the reason after like 4th day, we are moving into the Selenium WebDriver. Once we complete like 80% of the syllabus, then we will be back to the Java OOPS concept, which are like important prerequisite for the advanced Selenium and also TestNG Framework, so that you will have enough time to practice on all the assignments. So that's the main reason I'm just following this way. So if this is the first day you're going to watch this video, means what I can suggest you is, in the playlist already 4 days of Java classes there. Just go through that and then listen to this video later. Then only you will get an idea how this Java concepts are implemented in the Selenium. Okay, first let's see a little bit about theoretical stuff, which are very important. Mostly everyone will skip this particular area. So what are all the objectives of automation testing? So whatever we are discussing, that is not only for the Selenium, in general automation testing, because we have many automation tools like UFT, Catalan Studio, Ran or X. So this points are common for all types of automation tools. So the main objective why we have to go for automation testing from manual testing is, the first point is to identify the defect. Trust me, most of the time I'm talking about in industry, they will be the freshers will be trained in Java, and then automation directly they will be deployed into the project. So they don't know the importance of manual testing. This is one big problem I have faced in my own team. Like everyone want to automate the scenarios, but whether that automation flow or the code can able to find the defect or not means it's a big question mark. Always remember why we are doing a testing, either manual testing or an automation testing. This makes sure that the we are testing as per the requirement. So the actual and the expected results are same. And we have to implement all types of testing technique so that we are not missing any defects, or we are rigorously giving a very good testing for better quality of the product. So if that is the main motive, then defect is the first point you have to remember. So when you write an automation test case, make sure that should be in a position to find the defect. It is not just a flow, like automatically it will run from one point to the another point. That is an advantage of automation testing, but always the main thing is it should identify the defect. Why I am pressing this point again and again, because nowadays, because of this agile, scrum, DevOps concept, most of the companies expecting an associates to do the manual testing and parallelly automation testing. It means like in 5 days, you'll be working on 3 days on manual testing, 2 days on automation testing. So you will be playing the role of both manual testers and automation testing. So still you don't have an idea about manual testing, means after roadmap 1, roadmap 2 is for the manual testing. At that time, attend the session and try to understand the importance of manual testing. Why I'm saying this? Because the developer mindset, that is the Java developer, automation testers, we always think it in the positive scenario. So this is the requirement, I have to automate it. But the mindset of a functional or a manual tester is how to break that particular product, how to find the defect. So they will be thinking always in a negative way. So this is like a contradict in every company. Manual testing versus developer, there will be an always an issue, especially during the testing phase. So nowadays it's like you are going to play the role of manual tester and also automation tester, means you must know the fundamentals of basic manual testing and a very good knowledge of writing the test cases, test scenarios, and all the testing technique implement in the testing steps, so that if we convert such manual testing into an automation test case, means I can tell that is the one of the best automation test case. So we have to give more importance to finding the defect. So that's the main objective, but in most of the books, they will not mention this point. Remember, we have to identify the defect, make sure the actual and the expectors are working fine. And again, rest of the points are quite easier. It is like to free engineers from tedious and redundant manual testing operation. Of course, when you go using automation script, it will be quick. So it will speed up the software testing process. When something, the process is very quick, obviously what will happen? It will reduce the cost and time during the software life cycle. Then again, definitely there will be a difference in quality while doing a manual tester and a tool. So when we use automation tools to automate a lot of test case and execute, that means it will definitely increase the quality and the effectiveness of the software test process. So the two in a very short time period. And then again it reduces the manual testing activities and all these stuff. So these four, it's like an evergreen. In simple automation reduces the effort of manual testers and increases the productivity, reduces the cost and the time. Everyone will talk about this only, but remember, as a automation tester, you have to fully focus on identifying defects also, because this one point I have seen it in most of my teams. They will not worry about the defect, because in companies how it will be, we will be getting the manual test case from the function, taking it as a reference, and then we will automate it. Mostly in the waterfall V model and all, this was the way we were working on it. So that's a different story actually. Nowadays, everyone in the spiral or the Scrum model, it means you must know both the importance of that. So then this is again when to use automation. And one more wrong assumption, mostly by the clients or non-technical users, they everyone think like we can able to automate 100%. Everything I can go and automate it. So this is some assumption, misassumptions we have it, wrong assumptions. Remember, not everything we can automate it, or in every places I will go and automate it. So that is not the thing. There are some places we can implement, some places we cannot implement. So it's a simple common sense. Based on that, you have to choose whether, when to use, when not to use. First, we will see when to use. Again, whenever there is a repetitive task and more chance for human error, especially data set creation. While doing the regression testing, we have to work like 1 week on creating the data setup, which is again the tough task, where possibilities of human error. Same thing like sanity suit, regression suit, you have to execute again and again. So possibilities that we may not cover all the test scenarios. So again, there comes the there comes the automation usage. And at this point, you can able to use the automation only on stable application. If the application is very unstable, so what is the meaning of stable and unstable is, maybe just if you think like 8 or 9 years before, booking IRCTC ticket during that call time, you will know the difference. At that time, sometimes we can log in, but we can't see we can't see the train tickets. Sometimes we can see the train tickets, but at the time of booking, you will get some other error. So the application is very unstable. So when you have such type of applications in real-time scenario, in that place, we can't use the automation. So make sure it must be stable application. And when you create an automation test case, that needs to be reused again and again. So it is like multiple releases are built. That is what they are saying. Long and iterative regression cycle required. Example, daily, if you want to do the smoke testing. Of course, smoke testing is done by the development team, but there are some projects like even smoke testing is also done using the automation script, sanity suit, regression suit. So when you that is on daily basis or weekly basis on multiple environments. So there comes the importance of automation. One scenario like you have like 50 test case. This 50 test case is executed only once in a year means it is totally not a good automatable candidate because very less usage. But when you talk about multiple release that every quarterly releases or weekly regression releases, something like that, then we can use the automation. So till now, whatever I'm sharing the contents all for all the automation tools, I didn't enter into the Selenium. And when not to use automation, again, application is unstable. Instance, simple IRCTC website, and then so many time. For example, after every, if there are banking projects, every night they will restart their server. Some batch process will happen. So after that, the application will be very slow, dead slow. Even if you do it manually, it may not work. So at that time, going with the automation tool may not be a good idea. So that's we call it as unstable application. And test without predictable results. So the main 1 minute, the objective, I think 1 minute, there is a noise. Sorry, team, actually. Someone parallel to my house doing some drilling work, unexpected disturbance. So I just changed my setup to another location, another place. So let's back to our topic. When not to use automation. So when application is not stable, so that is a place where we should not use the automation. And regarding the not sure about the expected results. So when we can say a test case is passed or failed is when the expected and the actual results are same. If that is the case, if you're not sure about what is the results you're going to get, In such cases, we can't do the automation. And then, which requires human interventions. So many test cases, some setup needs to be done in middle of the test case. So such automation test case and all falls under non-automatable, or we can't use the automations in that particular criteria. One such example is for bank payments, credit card payments. So it's like every day they will be doing some purchase. So these values needs to be added. Then at the end of 50th day, they will generate the billing cycle. So this will vary for every customers. So some complications are there in such type of scenario. So a lot of calculations that involves in such type of a test case, which requires human intervention. So such type of automation test case where we can't implement such type of test cases, we can't implement the automation. So in simple, where when you, this is one simplest interview question just to check your knowledge. Why we want to do the automation? This is what, if they ask, make sure you're talking about the defect. So we are make sure to increase the quality of the product by using the automation tool. We are doing it, and make sure the actual and the expected results are same, or we are testing according to the requirements. So it means that we are testing according to the requirements means, and by finding the defects. So when you say these words, okay, you understood the importance of automation. So where you will implement automation, this question has one backend meaning, whether the person did feasibility analysis or not. So here, which is the best automatable candidate means, when you have a test case like sanity regression, which is going to be used every day, every week, every month, then that is the place we can go for the automation. Of course, it reduces the human error and all. That's the secondary thing. I'm talking about what is the first answer you should tell for these questions where you can't use the automation. First answer, it should be test case which requires the human intervention, like batch processing, credit card assessment, those things and all. We can't go for the automation. Sometimes PDF validations. So a lot of complications there. We will use additional tool like WinSP, so many XML configuration. Such places definitely any human intervention needed where we can't go for the automation. So that's the introduction about the automation tools. So these answer is common for all type of automation tools, not just Selenium. Now we are entering into the Selenium. Again, what is Selenium? Selenium is it is a suite. Suite means not just one tool. It is more than one or more tools. It is a suite of open source tools to automate web applications. So it means all capitals are important. Web applications only across different operating system and browser. So from this definition, we can understand one thing like Selenium is not just one tool, it's a suite of multiple tools. What are all the tools? We will see it in the next slide, like Selenium IDE, WebDriver, Selenium Grid. So it is having multiple tools. And it's an open source tool. Open source tools means it is free of cost. You don't need to pay any license cost for that. If you consider Ranorex or a unified functional testing tool, for that we have to pay license like $3,000 per license per year. So now you can imagine if you have 20 members automation team, how much you will pay for the license. But when you consider Selenium, it's free. They won't say it's free. It's a free, but just to say that in a decent word, in industry, we call that as open source tool. So don't tell to anyone like it's a free, we will use it. That it will look very bad way to project that tool. You can say it's an open source tool. And very another important, it is only used for web application. What is web application? Again, if you check it in your computer, we have desktop applications like calculator, Word, antivirus software, so many mainframe. So many different types of applications are there. So it means it's a multiple applications we can able to see it. And if you see a browser like uh, Chrome, Firefox, then what else, Edge is there. So in a browser, if you can able to launch a URL and see, that means that falls under the web application. So remember one thing, Selenium is only for the web applications. And very importantly, it can be used in different operating system. OS means Mac, Linux, and Windows. So you're going to code it in Windows, you can able to execute that in different operating system. Same way, you have written code in Chrome, you can execute same code in different browser. So this is having such a very wide range of usability. Just you're writing the script in one place, you are executing in different operating system, different combination of browser. So that's why the industry started using the Selenium. If it is an open source, how about security issue? If it is a Google product and they give freely, means will you worry about security? No, right? So big companies give free for some reason, just to make sure the paid tools will lose their market in the testing. And this Selenium again supported by the Google. So it's not like open source means it will be security issue. That's a wrong assumption. You should not think in that way. Open source means free, means we may not have all the features, some best features which are available in the, what to say, in the paid tool or commercial tool, that may not, we may not have it. So that's how we have to take it. And all the apps, you have something called, before launching there is something called security testing. We have a different testing. So after doing security testing, only performance testing, manual testing, then only the product will be launched. So nothing like there is not possibility of security issues and all. So after getting clearance from respective teams only, the tool will come into the market. So what is Selenium again? It is a suite of open source tool to automate a web application across different operating system and the browser. Since I said it's a suite, initially it was 4, now it is 3: Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. For our training, we will be fully focusing on Selenium WebDriver. Again, this is an IDE. Anyone can use this without knowing the programming knowledge. Just like that, you can install it and do it. And the grid for parallel execution, we will see that concept quite later. So if someone asks, do you know Selenium means? Rather than that way, in your resume, don't mention you know Selenium. It means you doesn't know anything. Be specific. You have worked in Selenium WebDriver. In most of the resume, I can't find this particular word. So purposefully, I will ask them this question. Can you explain the concept of Selenium Grid? It's a little bit quite difficult to explain this. So be specific. And after mentioning it in the resume, Selenium WebDriver, if they are Selenium Grid, it is very easy to explain theoretically. You can tell that. And if they ask, you tried it practically, means maybe you can say like your project doesn't have a scope like that. Maybe in your project, if you have the scope, I will implement and show you. Like that, you can make the conversation the smoother way. So be specific Selenium ID. It is having three components. First, Selenium ID. ID means it's an integrated development environment, and it is a extension, or it's like extension means an add-on. You can go and check it in uh, do a Chrome browser, like so many pop-up block-up add-on, VPN add-on, or they will call that extension. Same way, they are providing like Selenium ID and extension. It is available Chrome, Firefox, even in Edge also. I have recently seen it. I have to update this slide. What is the biggest advantage of that is we can directly record it and play back the test case. You no need of any programming language. Just like that, you can install and start working on it. And after recording it, if you play that, the script will execute. Best part of that is the flow what you have recorded, you can convert that to the different programming language like C Sharp, Java, Python, Ruby. So maybe I'll show you that one, how the tool will look like. Entire screen. If you see Selenium ID for Pro, this is not a part of syllabus, and when kids will use these stuff, so don't tell that you know Selenium ID and all. This is just an one feature. You can use it, anyone can use it for doing small application automation, small test cases. See, this is how the tool will look like, and you can see this red button. So it means whatever you are performing, that flow will be recorded. Then you can play that again. So yes, here it is much better. So they created Selenium project. In that website, they started recording, like clicking on some link. So whenever you perform a mouse operation, it will mouse and keyboard operation respectively, it will record it. And you can execute the same automation test case. So you can see this. To be frank, the previous version of Selenium ID was not up to the level, but the present version, the Selenium, the latest one, this is the latest one. It is having so many features. There is in only one place we will use this type of IDE tools. I will tell at the time of feasibility analysis. That's one big topic. But remember, this is like anyone can able to add to the Chrome, like add extension. Think which add yes, you can see record a new project name. Big demo. Okay. What is the base URL? Okay, start recording. Now a new browser will be launched. So whatever I'm recording, you can, so I'm clicking on this. Then here I'm clicking on some other thing. Then moving to registration form. Something. Okay. Now you can stop the recording. Sample test case. So if you see, open that URL and then I clicked in this links, no, so automatically the properties it got selected, and then I typed something, Vinoth. So this is the test case. You run it, preparing your end. So launching it here, and then it should navigate to registration form. What happened? Till this it's passed. Regarding this, it is struggling. In sense, this is one direct example why we will not use it. So something directly it is available, it is working, but mouse hover, it's not working. Oh, it worked because I just helped it. That's why it is working. If you have noticed, I just moved my mouse pointer this, then only it able to see that. So in sense, this is not the right way to do the automation, but still they are providing this tool. So just for a demo purpose, I gave you this. You can explore it if you want to fill some time sheet, some daily activity, checking some match scores. So that's your daily way means you can record and keep that script in the desktop. If you double click daily, automatically this will do it. So that's about the Selenium IDE. Now let's back to the slides. Just now I showed you in the Chrome. Same way you can do it in Firefox or Edge. It makes easy to record and playback test in the browser. Playback means re-executing or running the automation test case. Just now we did it, but it's not 100% successful. Especially mouse over, we are unable to select from that particular drop down. So that's a problem with this type of tool. And what is the advantages? Web ready. Just just in 2 minutes, I completed one test case. In sense, I installed it. Very simple to quickly reliable end-to-end automation test case for any web application. That's how they say, but has its own drawback. Easy debugging. In the present version of the Selenium IDE, we can able to insert breakpoints, handle the exception, which was not available in the older versions, and cross-browser execution. In sense, you can execute this particular test case in different operating system and also in the browsers using the command line, that is command prompt. And very important, no programming knowledge is required. Just now I showed you one simple demo. Just like that, anyone can able to do it. Even if you want to get some confident, like I want to automate and get the feel of automation tester, just install Selenium IDE and record it and run it. You will have a happy feel like you also did the automation. This is an advantage. Now, the next tool, that is Selenium WebDriver, which is the main for us. The main objective is to learn or automate using Selenium WebDriver. So again and again, I'm saying, while preparing resume, when you send it to me, don't mention Selenium, mention Selenium WebDriver in specific. And it is a web automation framework that allows you to execute your automation script against different browser and operating system. So this is the definition. What they are saying is, again, it's a framework. With that, you can able to automate and run the test case in different browser and operating system in simple. And not only locally, even on remote machines, we can do it. And this we call it as Selenium 2.0. And again, even though it's an open source tool, remember, we will be using the Apache 2.0 license. So we have the license to execute Selenium, but still it's free. All the Selenium projects will be executed in Apache 2.0 only. Now, what are all the browsers it supports? Chrome, Firefox. Remember, there is no more support for Internet Explorer. No IE support. Edge, nowadays, Edge is actually, to be frank, the performance of Edge is literally good when compared to Chrome and Firefox. But Internet Explorer, something it consumes more, RAM process, and it is very dead slow. But still, we can use it for automation, Safari, Opera, and also we have something called HTML unit driver. What this means? So it is the most lightweight and fastest implementation of headless browser based on HTML unit. Again, what does headless browser means? Same like Chrome and Firefox browser, but the thing is it does not have any front end. So you can able to complete an automation test case and that you can execute directly in the headless browser. It means it will be executing in the backend. You can't see any front end. And finally, you will get the report like all passed fail. So this is one more browser available in the market. So this, if you want to complete the execution as quick as possible, we can go for HTML unit driver, but I never used it. And then operating system, we already discussed all three OS it will support. And this is quite important slide. What are all the programming languages Selenium WebDriver supports are Java, Python, C Sharp, JavaScript, Ruby, and Kotlin. So this 6 programming language only right now Selenium is supporting. The jar files are getting released. In our training, we will be focusing first on Java. I think roadmap 4, we will do same set of examples using the Python. But still, why everyone sticking with Java is the programmers or the resources to get Java resources are very easy when compared to rest of the programming language. That's a one thing. Java is the most secure language. And if you search for any of the errors, we can able to solve all the errors for anything related to Java. For example, go and check Stack Overflow, you will have a solution for all your problems. Most of them want to stick with Java. But now due to the rise of data science, machine learning, everyone moving to, not everyone. What is the literally in the companies they will do is they will be having multiple projects. For example, some 500 test case they have it. They are using Java means something new project comes like 20 test case. They will try that with the Python. So if you go to any company work in automation project, it will be like mixed of multiple languages and multiple tools. So in some project, one few of the team members will be working on EST2. Some of them will be working on Selenium. Some of them mobile testing using APM. So that is how an automation teams will be in most of the big organization. So what the literal meaning is, you can't stay with single knowledge. So you should be in a you should be ready to get adaptable to any tool or any programming language. So based on my observation, if you know a very depth understanding about Java, learning Python is going to be very easy. And these stuff you don't need to worry. So it supports 6 programming language. And again, this is an interview question. What are all the advantages of Selenium WebDriver? Whatever we have discussed, once again, open source, freeware, portable tool. It supports all operating system, browser, programming language, and supports the parallel test execution. What this I will tell quite later. And these are all some important thing which we have already discussed. And sixth one, this will use very less CPU and RAM consumption. You can't find this point in anywhere in the internet. Suppose if you're going for interview, you already have knowledge of multiple tools means you can tell this. Because UFT and all, it will consume a lot of CPU and RAM usage. Suddenly you will get non-responding error. Since that tool will closed, it will get hanged. Such type of issues we will not face it in WebDriver, Selenium. And another, the most important point, TestNG Framework. So again, if you do with UFT, you have to create a framework that is going to be another additional task. But right now for Selenium, in the market, we have something called TestNG testing framework. So it is again just like that. You can install it, start using it. You don't need to sit and write code for report generation, test data, those stuff. all so many functionalities are already in the TestNG. Directly you can use it. This is a part of our curriculum. uh, I think after we complete Java and Selenium, we will move on to the TestNG. And with the TestNG report generation and all, we can do just like that. And again, DevOps implementation like Jenkins, Maven, GitHub, any other tools coming in the market, we can able to integrate with that very easily. Again, it's free of cost. It's an open source. So last 3 points talks about your experience. First, these are like everyone can tell. It's an open source, supports all the OS, browsers, programming language. That's fine. But as an experience resource, what you should tell us, we can able to integrate with TestNG testing framework. So again, that is next module. When I talk about that, you will get more idea. So something readily available in the market, you get it and start coding inside that framework, so that uh, maybe once we start coding it, you will understand how the code will be with framework, without framework. Till that time, you can park that question. Now, if I tell, it will confuse you. So we have the TestNG framework. Again, multiple tools we can be integrated easily. And then what is the disadvantage? If anyone ask about the disadvantage, remember the first high priority answer you should tell us, it only supports the web application. It does not support desktop or window based application. So when you tell this point, then only you are understood the concept of Selenium WebDriver. If my automation project is having desktop application, mainframe application, means there you can't use the Selenium. So this is the one point. And again, no centralized maintenance of object. This is one of the pain point. Again, if I tell now, you will not understand. We have something called page object model. After TestNG, we will discuss this advanced concept. Then only you will understand this. So skipping it now. Then very tough to do the image based application, image testing, comparing the images. So such stuff we can't do it. And if it's a commercial tool like UFT and all, they have the customer care, they will help on us how to do it. But here no reliable support. It's an open source, you have to do by yourself, and very tough to do the setup. And what is an advantage? I'm converting that as a disadvantage. Like you need some external support like TestNG for report generation. So that's a one you can tell for advantage and also for the disadvantage. So these slide points are important. You can glance it later. So we are done with components, two component. One is Selenium IDE, another one is Selenium WebDriver. Now comes the Selenium grid. Definitely in all the interview, they will ask something about Selenium grid. It's like a mandatory question. Have you worked in Selenium grid? Can you explain those concept? Means you should be in a position to tell. Okay, let's understand the usage. Then later you can by heart this particular definition. So what is the Selenium grid? So right now, you are in your laptop, you're what you're doing, you're coding and executing. So it's like in single place you're doing. What if you want to test your test case in different operating system like Mac, Linux, and different browser, that too in different versions of browser, means then it's going to be a biggest trouble. And that too you have to test case like 300 test case in different operating system, different browser, different versions of browser combination. So which is not easier to achieve with just Selenium WebDriver. So we need the help of Selenium grid. So what is the speciality about this is two word. When someone talks about Selenium grid, first technical word is hub and node. These word you should never forget. Hub and node. Hub means what? It's a server. So this is the hub where you will have all the code. Maybe you can consider my laptop as a hub. Then these are all nodes. Maybe Praveen is having Mac, Sandhya having Linux, like that. So what I will be doing, these 300 test case, I will be connecting to their respective nodes, respective laptop, different versions. I can trigger the execution like parallelly. So 300 test case parallelly in all the nodes, the automation execution will be started. So that is then only it's like we are covering a very wide range of testing. So when you launch a product, you can't tell to a customer, hey, use this HDFC online only in the Chrome. You can't tell them. You have to make sure the person may use, sometimes what about Safari? Make user. So you can't tell, hey, why are you using Safari? Install Chrome and use my HDFC means the person may not like you. The customer will get disappointed on your company. So it is a duty of us to make sure all the requirement, all the test case are working in different operating system, different browser and different versions of browsers. That is also a possibility. So such wide range of testing, if you want to do it, is impossible to do it manually, only through automation. In automation also only through Selenium Grid. So two word, one is hub, these are all nodes. Hub will have all the code and we will be connecting to each nodes and kickstart the execution. One of the best feature of Selenium Grid is only all the setups will be done in my system. In your laptop or desktop, I will give some jar files. If you keep that and if we can able to interact each other, then directly we can execute. Even you no need of Eclipse, no big softwares. So such a best feature. And if you consider an IT company, definitely any project will have hundreds of computers and you want to try it means just from the node, sorry, just from the hub, you can connect to all the computers in night time once everyone once everyone left the office. Now you can kickstart the execution. So in single night, you can complete a wide range of test case in different browsers, browser operating systems. So what is the biggest advantage if we follow this? If you execute one by one, like I already said, 300 test case, you have three laptop, or you have to do the configuration first 300, second 300, 300, 900. Like it is something execution time is very high. But if we trigger all 300 at the same time in different operating system and browser means overall execution time will be reduced. So the main advantage why we are going for Selenium is it will minimize the test run. And I'm saying from the hub to different nodes, right? That is, I'm executing this 300 test case in different operating system. That we call it as parallel testing. So that's possible only in Selenium. So now we will see the definition. If you want to scale by distributing and running tests on several machines and manage multiple environments from a central point, make it easy to run the test case against vast combination of browsers, OS, then you have to use the Selenium. This definition you can't tell for sure. Simply you can tell you have to test it in different operating system browsers. So the best way is we can use Selenium Grid. So here there is two terminology. One is hub where we will keep our code, and node are nothing but the devices, different computer, laptops. And when we do such Selenium concept, what is the biggest advantages? We can reduce the overall execution time. So that's the great thing. And this is again called as parallel testing. So this is how you have to explain in an interview if they ask about Selenium Grid. And then Selenium remote control, like if you are having 7 to 8 years of experience and you are saying like I have worked in like last 5 to 7 years in Selenium, then you should know this history because recently they removed it like 4 years back. Before that and all, there is something called Selenium remote control. Now, even in official website, you can't find this, but we will learn it for interview purpose. So it act as a server. It is a server, act as an API and client library. So in simple, right now what we are going to learn is WebDriver. So you, that is your computer Eclipse ID, you will write the code and execute it in the browser. So in the browser it will execute. But in olden days, like 5 years before and all, there is something called a server. So you will connect to that server. That server only will connect back to the particular browser. So there is always some intermediator, that is RC server. So this is having a big problem at that time. Selenium team itself understood this and they depreciated this remote control. So Selenium RC means remote control. So these are all the components of Selenium. And again, history, no one is going to ask, but it's good to know it. 2004 only, Selenium started at ThoughtWorks by Jason Huggins. And then 2005, Selenium 1, that is remote control, the person implemented. And 2006, another person created Selenium ID, that is still now it is there, right? Which is used to automate our test case. At that time, it was in the Firefox. Now we have in all three important browsers. And in 2007, Google launched this particular Selenium. So this person again switched the company from ThoughtWorks to Google and started working on this in a hidden way. And later, Google got this Selenium, and it is guiding it. In 2008, they tried with RC, made it a very powerful tool. 2.0 in 2008, something same thing. Selenium Grid came into the picture, that is running in multiple remote missions. See, like it started from 2004. Now we are in 2022. Still the tool is exists. Like in 2008 and all, lot of things happening. Even in 14, 15 and all, I used to try with feasibility analysis with Selenium tool. It was very complicated for me. In 2016, what they did, uh, they removed the Selenium RC and they came up with Selenium WebDriver. They are saying that as Selenium 3.0. Now 4.0 is also there. You don't need to worry about that. So from 2016, it started all important upgradation happened. 2019, it was becomes a W3C standard protocol. It is accepted by worldwide. So from 2019 and all, it started dominating all the IT companies. Even 2022, it is still dominating it without any doubt. And there are some tools like Catalan Studio, and so many tools are coming in the market. And remember, that tool is built above the Selenium. So Selenium is there, above that only they are coming up with some front end. So learning Selenium means it is going to be with you for next 10 years. What is the programming language? That depends on project to project, but still the concept remains the same. Only the syntax will changes. Now comes the prerequisite. So if you want to know the Selenium, again, fundamentals of testing concept. Manual testing, you must have a very good idea, and Java oops concept. So this is a simple introduction about the Selenium. If you have any doubt, you can text me. Okay. Now we are entering into some another important topic. Okay, fine. That's all we'll see it later. Let's go with a small team activity. Let me see how many of them uses your common sense, which is very rare. You can know that by now. I'm giving you a scenario like we are working in same team. Um, I parked my car somewhere here and you want to use my car. So I'm giving the key to you. Okay, you go and take my car and give it, maybe before going home, you can give it back to me. That's fine. So my question is, I'm saying again, I parked my car here. You want to use my car for some temporary purpose and give back to me. So I'm giving my key. Now you can answer me, or you can either say it in voice or you can text me. I will give you 1 minute time. What are all the questions you will ask me so that you can able to easily find my car? Just text me. Let me see some unique answer. Text will be better. You voice means other will miss it. You can reply me in text. You want to take my car? What are all the questions you will ask? Okay, I said, of course, office building only. Okay, chilla, we need exact location where the car. Okay, car parking slot. Someone is floor, sigh with floor, car brand, car color, Praveen, which block, slot number. Okay, nice answers. Because this, remember, this one story, I will be connecting with all the concept. If you are understanding this, then rest of the day is going to be easier. Give me the car keys. Of course, I gave my car key. Then how will you find? Okay, car number. First, you will ask block, then slot number, car number, registration number, parking slot, car number. Okay, and then one car location, car number. Makes sense? Okay, almost everyone. Okay, I got all the different combinations of answers you have said. Let's see. For example, let's come with car number. Someone messaged me, key with Bluetooth. I always expect that answer. You go and near to that, and if you just push it up, you'll get that location. But let's make as a normal car, which doesn't have that stuff. Okay, let's go with the car number. Just tell me if I go with exact car number alone, I can able to find my car, but is it easy? It will be easy or it is going to be very tough? It is going to be really tough, right? You can't go and watch every car number one by one, starting from the ground floor, first floor, second floor. It's going to be hell lot of stuff needs to be done. Definitely, just with the car number, we can't find it. So there are some ways if I follow it so that I can able to find my car just like that. So what is that car way? What is that way? Again, the questions, the filter things like someone said floor. Floor is the first maybe. If I tell the floor, so if I say like a third floor, we no need to worry about the rest of the floors. Directly we can go to the third floor. And in some offices like north wing, south wing and all, we will have it. We went to that particular place. Now you are saying I can find with the car brand color. What happened? All four Adhikar, which is mine. Very, very tough. You will get confused. So someone said in Anil said color. Again, okay. If I go with the color, same color is there. So duplicates are available. So what is the unique value is so that it is exactly my car is, that is number plate. So we have to find that unique value. So this is the story. If you want to find my car, so you have to know the simplest way, the location and the number plate. If location almost understood, everyone will get it. But with location and car color will not make you to get it. Maybe south wing, north wing, second floor. It's an Audi car, brand. So many Audi it will be there. Can't find it. Color, possibility, same color. Again, it's going to be an issue. So it is going to be the number plate. So ultimate aim is to find that number plate which is a unique one so that I can able to identify that car. So this is a story. Now let's back to our automation point of view. I hope everyone understood the story, I assume. Now you can imagine whatever the story I said. So here, this is the car parking. Web page is a car parking. Now you have to find your car. In this case, it's a first name. So these are all the web elements technically. Our automation script should able to find first name accurately. That's why I said automation is all about object identification plus action. Object identification 90%. This is just 10%. Action means entering the value, clicking. So if this is correct, this will work. Most of them will worry about this one. But remember, this is very, very important. Object identification. You have to find exactly in this web page where the first name is located, where the last name located, where the city web element is located, where this alert and pop-up button is located. So your aim is to find exactly in the web page where it is located. So again, the story is that unique value. So unique value is the one thing which tool will not say. You have to use your common sense and choose accordingly. In the previous example, the number plate, you all understood that will be a unique value specific to that particular car. It will not change it. Same way, every web element will have a unique value. I will tell you all the cheat codes, tricks. If you apply that blindly, your script will not fail. But if you're not going as per that process, means definitely at that time your script will work in the next regression, or when application is updated, your script will get failure. Most of them experienced users also may not aware about this particular concept. Remember, this is important, like 90% object identification. Again, let's back to the code. So finding that exact shortcut way and all, you no need to worry about it. We have syntax for that. Find element by dot locator. This will take care of everything. You have to remember the syntax. This syntax is like, it will go and exactly go and stand near your car like this. Now, like this, you can imagine. If you give that method, find your car, like this, it will go and find. Now, what is the value, that unique value you have to give? If you give the car brand, the script will get failed, or it will choose the first one. If you give the color, again the script may fail, or it will choose the second one, same color. But you have to give the proper number, then only the script will exactly find where this particular first name is located. So this is the story, or this is the simplest logic to understand the automation. So here I'm saying about the locators. Every programming, every tool will have their own unique value. This explanation will also suitable for other automation tools. Any automation tools, our concept, our thought process should be, I should identify that unique value. So with this, because why I'm saying, when I will be asking a lot of questions, most of them will come to this scenario. You should say answer like number plate, not like car brand or color. Then That's not a right concept. So before going into this coding part, few more things we have to learn it. That is web element. Again, web element means technically in Selenium, these are all called web element. First name, last name, everything is a web element. The radio button, then this logo, link, everything are web element. Okay. If you check it in HTML, HTML tutorial, let's understand few things about design part, web designing. So all the web pages will be designed using the HTML code. You can see that here also. HTML means what? It is hypertext markup language, where it is introduction. Hypertext markup language, and it is a standard markup language for creating the web pages. Using this only, they will create the web pages, and it describes the structure of the web page. Structure means this is what we call it as structure within one web table. What is inside that, like that, and it consists of series of elements. There are series of elements, and it tells the browser how to display the content. And again, if you see the code, so this is one such example. Now, if you see the code, in simple HTML language is used to design the web page. So if we understand this design part, identifying that unique value is very, very easier. So here, if you observe something, every HTML, how it will, let me maximize this one. Everything starts with HTML, ends with HTML. So there is something called start tag, end tag. Same, it will be a start tag. And again, there will be an end tag followed by forward slash. So HTML, again HTML. So if you have any start tag, there must be an end tag. How can we differentiate end tag as slash? So HTML, it will have two parts. One is head, another one is body. Head means this area, and body means this one, this particular area. Head means this area. So in the web page, you are seeing so many codes, right? We show you one sample thing. And okay, that is what head means, this area. Body means what is inside here, this particular places. That is this area. This is body. This is head. Okay. Now, one more thing to remember here is, as I already said, it start with start tag, end tag with the slash. This is the one thing. And we have so many tags, you don't need to worry about these tags and all, which is not a part of for us. But just remember, this is how a web page will look like. Now, I want to say the source code of this one is very easy. You can go and see view page source. Right click, view page source means you will have this particular website code. See, such a big thing and lot of stuff. You can see here start tag, end tag. You will have a lot of code. There is another way you can see is inspect. Right click, inspect. You can see even it will be much clear when compared to source code. I'll show you a few examples. It will have head and it will have a body. The second I keep head this place. What it displays, see here, this area, demo site, registration form, next gen AA Academy. It is displaying some content here, right? That is nothing but the title. Okay. The title itself, when I change here, the backend. Now see here, title changed, So this is, so whatever the values, we call this as a tag. whatever the things here comes under the head means this top area. Now body, again, you have tables, so many tags are there. You no need to worry about those stuff. Just remember head and body, you will have it. So now let's back to the slide. What is a web element? It represents the HTML element. Just now we saw that. And it means hypertext markup language for creating web pages, web application. And every HTML element, web element or web element, it will start with start tag and the end tag. So this is the thing you should remember. And our idea, our motive is to find that car with unique number. How to do that? That's the thing. So there comes inspect. How to inspect? This word is again important. When you are entering into a team, the lead will say go and inspect. If you are working in UFT tool, they will say go and spy the tool. Spy, SPY. But in Selenium project, they call this as a inspect. Okay. So we have a tool. What is the tool name is? It's a developer tool and the shortcut is F12. Okay. Now, just one small case study. Let's try to find this first name. Okay, let me create an Excel. Okay. It's a first name. We are going to find it. Chrome, Firefox, Edge. Let's try to understand how you are writing a script in Chrome is working in Firefox and Edge. How come it's possible? This is the reason. Now we'll see. We have to find this first name. So for that, right click, you can inspect. This is a one way. Another way is here dot will be there. You go to the more tools, you will have developer tools. Always in the tools you will have it. Another simplest way is press F12. That's the easiest way. If you press now, you can able to see this. So maybe I'll go to inspect. Right click inspect is the easiest way, shortcut way. It will take directly to that particular web element. In sense, directly to that particular car. Okay, this is where the car is located. So right click exactly above that, go to inspect. This is the easiest way to find it. So where the last name is there, right click, inspect. Okay, this is the tags and its value. Now let's do it for first name. Okay, one more thing. Right click, inspect. It will take to this one. Now you have to find each properties and value. So this is tag, div tag, form tag, field tag. So many tags we have it. Same way I want to find for first name. How if I move mouse, nothing is happening. Then how to do it is here you see this particular place. 1 minute. Okay. This is the place. If you want to inspect, here only it will be there. What you have to do is come and click this. If you click this, it will change to blue color. See, when you move above each field, each web element, in the bottom, the respective tags it is showing. So, okay, you're moving. I'm not clicking. I just moved above the first name. Now, when I click on this, you can see this. Okay, for first name, this is the this is how the web developer used the respective tags. Now, okay, fine. 1 minute. So when you move above that particular tag, the respective fields are getting highlighted. See, so this is the first name. Yes, we are in the first name. So clicking on this, you can move, or else right click, inspect. Anything, whichever you feel it as easier, you can go with that. Okay, now you can see here few observations, few words, terminologies I'm going to tell. This we call it as tag, input tag, li tag, ul tag, label tag. So first word is tag. Everything will have start tag, end tag. So in simple tag. And you can able to see some for equal to something, class equal to something, type equal to something, name equal to. So these we call it as attributes. Attributes, and within the double quotes we call it as values. So three word, don't forget it, because some methods we will do it. One is tag, another one is attributes, another one is value. So they are designed between the tag, and they will have its own attributes and the values. What are the attributes and values? If you consider this example again, first name, input tag, it has so many attributes. Type attribute equal to text value, name attribute, value, id attribute, some value. Even value is also an attribute. There is an attribute with name value, class attribute. Like that, we have so many attributes. For now, I'm considering like an ID. So I'm taking an ID attribute. So for everything, I will be using the ID only. ID attribute and its value. Just double click above that, you will get that value. Placing it here. Okay. So first thing is done. So in the Chrome, I am able to find this. Now the same way, what I am doing is in the Firefox, this is a Firefox tool. What we have done is Chrome we are done. Now moving to the Firefox. In Firefox, same thing. This is a Firefox. You can able to go and more tools, and you have web developer tools. We get like this. See inspector, console, so many things. This again, this one, click on this. It will take you to something. If you move above that, you will get this one. So click on this and click on this. Or else the simplest way, right click above that and select inspect. It will take you to the respective one. I'm just going to maximize it. Increasing the font. Okay. Same here, I'm taking the input tag. So many attributes and values are there. So I'm taking ID attribute and its value is something. Let's try to paste it here. Okay. Now edge. Okay, now this is an Edge browser. So this is a Microsoft product. Initially, Internet Explorer was there, right? Right now, it was replaced by Edge. So there is no support for Internet Explorer. Same thing, right click above the first name, go to inspect. So I will close other browser so that processors. Okay. You can see it's an Edge. See, Microsoft Edge. So it just went right click, inspect, it just went to that. Or else you have the same arrow. Click on this, move above each web element. Okay, this is what I needed. Place that, click it, it will take you to the respective place. Cross check when you move over in this place, it will be highlighted respectively. Increasing the font. Okay. So this is the one. I'm taking ID attribute and its value. Okay, closing. Just tell me, is all the values are same or different? Just message me. So in every browser, the HTML code is same or different? Same or different? Message me. It's same. Yes, got the reply. So this is in simple. So now you will understand. Now you got to understand like why when you code it in one browser, how it is working in other browser. Is just because of this HTML concept. All the web pages of HTML remains the same. Browser may be different. The backend code remains the same. This concept was not possible when we use it like UFT automation tool, where that is a totally different concept. But here we follow this HTML element, web element concept. So when you automate it in Chrome, the things will work in Firefox. Or you are having an issue with Chrome, you are unable to do automation. Yes, that means you can use Firefox or you can use Edge. So for training purpose, you can use any browsers. I will be teaching you how to launch every browser one by one. But remember, whatever you're going to do, the backend, that attributes and its values will be common across all the browser. I took just three. Go with some other browsers like Safari, anything Opera. Go and inspect, you'll have the same value. Now back to slide. So we understood one thing like use the developer tool to inspect the element and how which is the tool? It's a developer tool. The shortcut key is F12. For a web element, here they are saying the locator and its values are common for all the locators means attributes and values are common for all the browsers. Just now we saw it. It means the same Selenium code we can be used in all the browsers. And there are some readily available add-on like selector sub. You can use that and try to find this particular locators. In sense, I said you have to use your common sense to identify your unique number, right? Just to help you, there is a tool something called selector sub that is works on some AI algorithm. That tool itself will use some common sense and find this particular unique value. You don't need to worry about that. But still, sometimes the tool itself will not work properly. In sense, not the exact number. Maybe it will go like this. So again, you have to aware about how to choose the respective one. So that's the thing. Now you're done with the number plate. Okay. How to inspect we are done. What is web element? Now this syntax using the find element by dot locator, we will see that. So okay. Here we have to go to the exact that particular car parking area. So some ways we need to do it, right? So those stuff and all it will be taken care by this method, which is called find element method. So this method, what it will do is so what is a find element? It is a method to locate the element on the web page. See, you don't need to worry about those stuff. So this itself will be able to find it. But exactly, accurately you have to find means then what is the you have a method means like this only they will mention. Then you're passing some input. What is by is a mechanism used to locate element within the document with the help of attribute value or locator value. And again, what is this locator? It is an address that identifies a web element uniquely within the web page. Nothing but here you have to give some exact value so that unique number plate, unique car number plate, it can find it. So this is the one place you have to think and code it. So some rules are there. So totally we have 8 types of locators. Next concept. This is 8 types of locator such as ID, name, link text, partial, expert, CSS, tag name, class name. Okay. So why we need, okay. Attributes means we will have so many attributes. If you see quite confusing one, but focus well. 8 locators only available, but if you see in this web page, you have for, you have type is also there, value is also there, but it is not mentioned in this slide. It means everything is called as attribute. Everything is an attribute. As a bunch of these type, name, ID, everything as a collection, we call it as an attribute. In that, they are selecting some 8 stuff and they call that as a locators. Why they want to select this 8 stuff? Remember, web development, every developer will use their own properties and values. It's not like this is all given by a developer. Sometimes developer may give some value. Sometimes the developer may not use name. Sometimes may use only ID. So we don't know exactly what is the mindset of a developer. That's a one problem. Second problem, even nowadays, that web development itself an automated process. You can drag and drop. This website is developed by me, but I didn't write any code. This is drag and drop. I just placed all this particular things. Okay, this is where you have to get it. So when I put drag and drop, automatically backend code will be generated. It means without even knowing any programming language with some additional tools, web development can be done. So it means what is the indirect problem is these values and all will be automatically generated. So development itself manual process there, they will use different values, different attributes to. If it is an automated process, the machine will use its own different attributes. So definitely if you're going to write a test case for all these different combinations without and make sure that your script is not getting failed means, so what they did, they had a discussion, all the members, they came up with, okay, we will select these 8 locators. Definitely the web developer will use one, at least one uh, locator from out of this 8. Like this they came up with. So these are all the 8 locators: ID, name, link text, partial link text, expert, CSS selector, tag name, and class name. So you no need to worry about rest of the things. When you inspect, you have to go and check this particular locator is available or not. In sense, right now I used ID, right? See, yes, ID is there, name is there, class is there. Maybe for this, it's an automated code. It chosen the name, ID, class. Okay, that's how it did. What about some other website? HTML. So this is some other website. I'm just trying to inspect this login button, home button, or inspect this one. This developer used style, maybe class is there as per our list. Class name is there. ID is there? No. No ID, no name, nothing. But class is there. So in sense, developer will use at least one locator out of this 8. First understanding. Now the second concept comes here. It is very important concept. You must follow and sequence, like always. First you should go and check for ID. You put this as my order or a cheat code, whatever it is, you must follow this. If you're not following this, your script will fail some other day and it will be known to your team. when we integrate all the code and just execute, suddenly your script alone getting failed means it's very easy to identify. So remember, first always give preference to ID locator. In case ID locator is not there, then you can go for name locator. So let's focus on ID and name locator, then rest of the things we will see it. It is something similar to trying to identify this particular number plate. Sometimes ID will be keep on dynamically generating. Possibilities are there. Then you can go for name locator. So first preference for ID, second preference for name. Maybe one place where 1 minute in. So it's a name. There is no ID. There is no ID itself. You can go with name locator. Then result, multiple windows, inspect. Same. You can see here, this is very important. Machine will, where machine, difference between machine and human being, now you can understand. They will write an algorithm to go and choose ID. Because ID is there, it will take. But remember, first preference is ID, no doubt on it. In this web page, this new browser window, what is the value? Is everyone able to see this button one? Able to see? Size. Clear? Zoom team, can you confirm? Able to see? The font. Yes. Okay. See this, it is button 1. I am inspecting this one. See? Button 1. Button 1. All three, as per the rule what I taught, you should go with ID. Some tools will go and pick ID. But see what happened here. All three ID are same, which is nothing but similar to this thing. Are similar to this thing. You are going and trying to find with ID. All of we have multiple values. So in this scenario, if you go with ID, it will be a problem. So next option is name. That is that name. So this is what I'm showing. This is what I'm saying. You should remember this rule and inspect and try to understand nearby object and choose accordingly. Again, simple common sense. First ID, second one is name. And nearby ID, you can check like a family. Family in sense, these are all like a button. So button, if you check nearby button, whether it will be same or not, you can cross check it. You will understand it. And this is one family, radio button. You can do it now. Let me check it for mail. For mail, this is the one. For mail radio button. This is for male radio button. This is for female radio button. See here, ID is different, but names are same. So different combinations we may get it. But remember, first always go for ID, second go for name. If you able to give, again, when you compare to the nearby, you can understand what is the developer mindset. Maybe the developer giving importance to ID. In some other web page, the developer will be giving importance to name. So always first two preference. First preference is for ID, second preference for name. Just understand this. With this, we will move on to the setup. Let's try to launch small test case. So till now, we are done with the Java installation. Environment path setup is also done, Eclipse done. So all the things we already completed. Now it's again a Java project. Now we have to do it 2 more steps. Download the WebDriver files and configure it in the Eclipse. What is that? Go to the Google, just type Selenium download. It will take you to this particular link. Actually, this is the official link, Selenium HQ. Maybe I can give you this also. Thinking to everyone, you can use this particular link. If you go here, this is how the home page will look like. They have totally updated the home page. And Selenium, you can see it free Selenium WebDriver ID grid. If you click, it will take you to the same page. What that each mean, and who and all sponsors. So many sponsors we have it, and so many blogs. And nowadays we have documentation. Really, when compared to that, like 2 years before, that's a totally different way. Now it is literally good. Very good documentations are added. Like if you want to explore on grid 4 concept across different machines, what you have to do it, how to do the setup, what is the use of grid components, how will you configure it, configuration help. See what you have to do, everything it is clearly mentioned. The present website is literally good. For us, it's a download. You can click here, or it will take you to the same web page. So this Selenium ID it is taking Selenium WebDriver. So it is taking for documentation. Okay, they just changed the UI. Initially, it will, that's a bug. They fixed it. Go and click on downloads. So I have shared you all the link. Selenium Grid. In future, if you want to work on it, you have to download that respective file. Internet Explorer. There is no more support for IE from Microsoft. You no need. So in the portion in our syllabus also, we are not going to focus this. This file, that is Selenium client and WebDriver language binding. So here so many parties involved, your Eclipse IDE, your browser. Now, this is nothing but IDE and this is nothing but browser. So I have to communicate. So some programming language needs to be chosen. We are going with Java, but how it will understand my Selenium commands? So the respective jar file needs to be downloaded. The first jar file is from the Selenium class. Here you have to download this particular Java. Java in specific, the version is 4.12. Actually, Jan only they changed this. Previously, it was like 6 files. Now it will be like 43 files inside this. So I have pinged you inside this, not inside this place, Selenium clients and WebDriver language binding. In future, if you want to try with Python, same test case, we have to come and download Python, Ruby, C#. So here now we are going to use Java. Click on this. 3 links are there. Click on 4.12. So download is completed. So the first thing. Then, so if you see here, Control J, okay, 21. Sometimes. Okay, download. Let that. So one file is downloaded. So this jar file will help us to interact between the Eclipse tool and the browser. Then, what is the browser you wanted? Selenium IDE, it is giving support for Chrome, Firefox, Edge. If you click, automatically respective page it will navigate. And then, what under the platform supports by Selenium. Okay. You have OS, there is no big difference. Browser is the one we have to focus. So these are all the browser it will support: Firefox, IE, Safari, Opera, Chrome, Edge. For our training purpose, we will use Firefox, Chrome, and Edge. For today, let's focus only on Chrome. So in Chrome, this will be under the platform supported by Selenium. In that, go for browsers. In that, it's Chrome, CHRO. In Chrome, click on 1 minute documentation. Click on documentation. So, I pinned you all, use it for reference. Just click on this. When you click, it will be navigating to this particular URL. Again, pinned you. Whatever I am pinning, those are important keywords. Now, again, what is the first one is in what programming language I am going to communicate with the browser. The programming language is Java. We downloaded that file. Now, second thing, I want to use the Chrome browser. For that, the respective driver files needs to be downloaded. Chrome driver file. So we have to download this file. Why we have to download again this file? Because remember, there are something called API concept in roadmap 3. I'll be teaching you API, that is SOAP UI, API testing, REST API. So it is like interacting to a particular thing without seeing their code. So I'm interacting to the Chrome browser. I'm interacting to Firefox browser, but I can use the browser, but I can't see the backend code. So there comes some interface concept in Java. OOPS concept, we'll be discussing those stuff. So all of their security, those stuff and all, it is implemented using the driver file. So this is like a gate. If we go through this gate only, we can able to automate it, because all other gates are closed. This gate will show only what is important for us if we go in that way. So we call that as an interface. Here, another important point, we are going to use Chrome driver. So this file needs to be downloaded. When you click on documentation, every time there will be two versions of software. One is beta, another one is stable. Latest beta version, latest stable version. I am teaching you a common concept. You have to follow this always. Remember, because after 3 weeks, the version number will change. I think last week I was teaching for with 99 for some of the batch. Now it came with 100. So you no need to worry about this number. You just focus on what I'm saying. Why I'm saying, because if you miss this point, your script will not work. It will give invalid session ID, unable to create the session. So this is a very important step. What you have to do is always download latest stable release. Never ever try with beta. Always download latest stable release. Okay, here it is 99.0 something. Just click on that. It will take you to this page. Why I'm not giving this link? Tomorrow this will change. So you should not go like a hard path. So you can see here this 99.0. So based on your operating system, whether it's Linux, Mac or Windows, you have to download the respective file. Here it is Win32. So Chrome driver underscore Win32. Click on that. The file is downloaded. Okay. If it is Win32, actually we are having Win64. Windows 64 right now in Windows 10, 64-bit only used across everyone. That is a support given by Microsoft. but it will be Win32. You don't need to get confused. You can go with it. This is fine. This work for 64 also. They still not change this name. I'm coming again. Here you have to come to browser, under downloads, browser, Chrome, click on documentation. After that, download the latest stable release. If you click here, it will take you to this. Click on Win32. If you are using Mac, go with the first file. No big difference. That's the one. Then the third point, always update your browser. How to update is very easy. Help about Chrome. C99 official build 99.0.04844.51. It is 51. Here it is 74. So you don't need to get confused with these numbers. Just blindly follow the trick. First trick, go with the latest stable release. Second thing, this help about Chrome. Automatically it will update. This should be up to date. Why I'm saying this again? What you are coding now, it will work now. Maybe tomorrow, if browser updated or driver file updated, means script will not work. So you should not get panic for it. First, update the Chrome browser. Come here and download the latest stable release. Just do the setup. What I am going to tell. So the first thing we are done. Now it will be in downloads and just now. So today I downloaded these two files, moving it to C drive, A to Z. These two files, one is Chrome, another one is Java. I'm moving it to Java, another one is driver. So I usually have this habit. Let's first always keep these files in C drive so that no one will delete it. First, let's try to map the Java files. Right click, extract here. Yes to all. So if you see, so many files are outside this lib files. Inside this lib, some files are there. How many files? It is 47. So what you have to do, move all these files, it's so that you will not forget, just move everything to libs. If you do a mistake on this, again script will not work. So inside lib, it should be 83 files. If 83 item is not there, you will get class unable to find error. Under lib. So after you unzip, so many jar files you will get it. Move all the jar files which is above, which is outside, into the lib. Inside lib, it should be 83. Remember 83 Java jar files. Is my voice is breaking now? Zoom team. Everyone able to hear me clearly, right? What about YouTube? Please reply me in the chat. So 83 jar files. Okay. Now let's go and do the setup. 5 new Java project. Selenium automation. We already knew it, how to do this. So the default location here, and it is Java 11. I'm just creating this module. Next, you can add library now itself. You can do it, or else you click on finish. Now we created the Java file, JDK 11. Right click above this Java file or your any place is fine. You have to see this build path. If you click above project, you will get so many things. If you click above this or click above SRC, you have to go with build path. Here, configure build path. So it will take you exactly to the libraries. I'm doing it again. Right click above the project, build path, configure build path. Above your Java project, right click, build path, configure build path. And you can see so many tabs under the Java build path. See, it is not in the resource. Under the Java build path, come to libraries. Again, this, if you do a mistake, it will be an error. Class path. See, it's a module. Another one is class. All the jar files, whatever we are adding, that 83 files, these needs to be inside the class path. So click on add external jars, open. Then Control A. One more time. Click, select class path, add external jars, move, navigate to this path, Control A. So the reason why I just moved everything inside this, sometimes you will forget to select from here, it will lead to problem. That's why I want to keep all 83 jar files under the lib. Control A, open. Now you can see all the jar files added to the class path. Apply, apply and close. See, referred libraries. Initially it was just JRE, now referred libraries. All 83, you must have it. Okay. Now I will do a small program. Detailed explanation, once again, I will give you tomorrow. Now I'm just cross-checking whether the script is working fine or not. So creating a class. Package is also important for AI dot. It has Selenium basics, class name, launch, application, public static void main, finish. Okay. What I'm doing is, we have 5 minutes. I will once again explain this tomorrow. You can, no need to worry about this 5 minutes. Just see. First, we have to set the system property for Chrome browser. So the syntax, system dot set property Chrome dot driver. This is the path of the driver file. Again, come here, driver file. So we downloaded the Chrome driver. Right click, extract here. So this is the file I have to give it. Slash Chrome driver dot exe. Refer this file. Anyhow, I will tell you tomorrow, but still. Driver object, the object creation mechanism, new Chrome driver. This is all I will teach tomorrow. Just as of now, I'm checking whether the setup is completed or not. So using get method, I can launch the URL. What URL? Okay. this URL. Then I have to maximize driver dot manage dot windows dot maximize. Let's run and see. Tomorrow we will restart this program. I have to make sure all the setups are done properly or not. So it is launching the browser, navigating to the URL and maximizing. So in simple, the code is working fine. Okay, this we'll see again tomorrow. As of now, for today, we are done with all the basic stuff, theory stuff. And regarding the setup, what you have to do is just download these two files. That is nothing but one is the Java file, another one is driver file. Keep it with you. Tomorrow, once again, I will teach you what is the meaning of each thing one by one. So till now, is everyone clear? Team? Maybe now, first let me ask to YouTube team. Is everyone clear? What about Zoom team? Okay, fine. So you no need to do the setup. Just download and keep this file in your local compute in your laptop, local file. Tomorrow we will start recursive coding. From tomorrow for next like 5 to 6 weeks, we will be focusing only on Selenium coding. This have a direct relation to your interview questions. So at any cost, don't skip class because I will be increasing the complexity step by step. If you miss one class, the next class going to be a nightmare. Never miss Saturday class if you because Sunday classes depends on Saturday. If you miss Sunday means at least you have 1 week of time. You can rewatch this again and come back to the next class. Yeah, I got a reply from YouTube team. Thank you so much. Okay. Thanks everyone on YouTube for joining today's session. Same way, we will see the rest of the coding part from tomorrow. Make sure you are not skipping any class. Next 5 to 7 class is important for roadmap work. Every topic you have to practice parallelly. So thanks you again. Good night. And just stop sharing my screening and stopping the live stream.